These are investment in the sector. Yes, the electricity we will continue to do, and we will continue to try to import power from other parts of the region to increase our energy efficiency. We'll give you the names of the board. Why is NAWEC not implementing? It's CESCO, SPV that the financiers say you have to establish. So NAWEC cannot be, but the board, the MD is part of NAWEC. So the ONM is part of my presentation, which I made earlier. The facilities across the country will provide. And I noted, we leave the political exposition for the politicians to deal with. And also, Honorable Member Sabah Sanya, the madrasas are there, the control mechanisms we will put in place. The issue is we are in a liberal society. If civil servants believe that they can provide better services to the project to make it work, so I don't see why there should be any control or restriction. That's my view. So an input, of course, and then we will give you regular report if you so wish. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, I am sure we can all attest to the fact that he has responded and clarified our doubts on almost all issues and has ably represented the Honorable Minister of Finance. He has also proven that he is on top of issues as regards his ministry. Honorable Minister, we thank you very much. And honorable members, in his speech, in the Honorable Minister's speech, he has invited the National Assembly in helping the implementation of this project by providing oversight. A lot of requests have been made for information, and I think the relevant committees of the National Assembly should, following the ratification of this document, try to get as much information as are required by members of the National Assembly for them to be effective in their oversight. And I think he has, so many people have also asked about CESCO, which we are told is a requirement of the project that it has to be created, and that it is completely owned by government, meaning it's a 90 to 10% share ratio. Finance owns 90 out of 100, and the energy 10, all government. But it's put up as a requirement by the project. And as the minister said, you are to build something, it costs you 100. And somebody comes to tell you, put in 25 and I will give you 75, free. I think that's all what it means in this game. So honorable members, you've been very forthright in finding out all what you need to know. And that's key. Before certifying something, we find out. Honorable member for Lower Salum, he asked a question, I never heard the answer. That this is in dollars, 8 million euros rather. The exchange rate now may be $65, for instance. At the time of payment, the loan component is only in euros. You are only paying euros. At the time of payment, if it goes to $10 to a euro, we take it at that. We're going to pay only 8 million euros. Unfortunately, if it goes to $100 to a euro, we still pay 8 million euros. So the exchange rate does not affect the amount. Honorable members, Let me put the question now. Be resolved that this Honorable Assembly do ratify the financing agreement between the government of the Republic of the Gambia and the European Investment Bank on the Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, also called Gambia Renewable Energy Project, finance contract for component 4 of the Renewable Energy Project, amounting to 8 million euros. And the financing agreement between the government of the Republic of the Gambia, the Sustainable Energy Services Company, TESCO, and the European Investment Bank on the Gambia Electricity Restoration and Modernization Project, also called Gambia Renewable Energy Project. The investment grant for the component 4 of the Gambia Renewable Energy Project, amounting to 24 million euros. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Congratulations. Clerk, can we proceed to the next?
Motion. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do consider and ratify the financial agreement between the government of the Gambia and the Islamic Development Bank on the regional soil fertility mapping project, amounting to $1 million United States dollars by the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs.
Honorable members, I now invite the Honorable Minister.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and good afternoon to you and the honorable members of the National Assembly. The National Assembly is invited to ratify the loan agreement between the Republic of the Gambia and the Islamic Development Bank in its own capacity and as administrator of the Islamic Solidarity Fund for Development for the Soil Fertility Mapping Project in the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, I rise to invite this August Assembly to ratify the following agreement with the Islamic Development Bank under its own resources and the resources of the Islamic Solidarity Fund for Development for the financing of the Soil Fertility Mapping Project for the Gambia under the Regional Soil Fertility Program for West Africa. Honorable Speaker, the Soil Fertility Mapping Project stems from the ISDB Regional Soil Fertility Program for the West African countries such as the Guinea, Mali, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. And it aims at alleviating constraints that prevent agricultural intensification in the Gambia. The project is an agricultural development initiative with a goal of addressing the needs for integrated soil fertility management program in the Gambia and develop balanced and evidence-based fertilizer recommendation for particular crop under specific soil and agroclimatic conditions. The project overall aims to achieve long-term increase in crop yields, nutritional quality, and increase return on fertilizer investment, addressing the NDP's strategic priority 3 of modernizing our agriculture and fisheries for sustained economic growth, food and nutritional security, and poverty reduction, to increase production of basic agricultural commodities, crops and livestock for enhanced food and nutrition security. Honorable Speaker, to help the government of the Gambia achieve its stated development plan, the Islamic Development Bank agrees to fund 75% of the total project activities costing approximately $1 million, with ID 370,000, that is equivalent to 500,000 being funds from the Islamic Development Bank resources, and the remaining 500,000 from the Islamic Solidarity Fund for Development Resources. The total cost of the project is $1.340 million, of which, as I said earlier, 75% is covered by the ISDB loan, and the remaining 25% is to be financed by the government of the Gambia. The project shall be executed over a period of 3 years from the date of the first disbursement. For the ISDB loan, the amount is approximately $500,000 US. The service fee is about 12,000 ID, 12,102.81. The grace period is 7 years, and the tenure is 25 years. The ISFD loan, the amount is 500,000. The service fee is 16,665.21. The grace period is 10 years, and the tenure is 30 years. The project will be implemented in selected regions based on strategic site selection for sustainable impact. The targeted areas are expected to be important breadbaskets of the Gambia. The project objectives are mapping soil in major agricultural targeted areas, develop fertilizer and soil fertility management recommendation for farmers, the fertilizer industry and other stakeholders, strengthen the capacity of the national agricultural institutions to conduct sound soil fertility diagnosis and fertilizer recommendations, and sensitize stakeholders, especially the fertilizer industry and farmer associations, on the importance of increasing access to and the use of appropriate fertilizer and associated good agronomic practice. Honorable Speaker, the project will be executed under components A to F. Component A will focus on the mapping of key soil properties, yield potential, nutrition, and soil constraints. Component B will enable soil sampling and analysis with a focus on co-developing a geographically balanced sampling approach to representative locations that are easily and safely accessible by national field sampling teams. Component C will consist of fertilizer randomized controlled crop response trial, which aim to complement the soil testing and analysis by running trials on priority crops. Component D will entail capacity building and training. Component E and F will focus on project management related issues, including the day-to-day operations, project management, implementation, and audit. Honorable Speaker, the loan financing from both the Islamic Development Bank and the ISFD resources are concessional, with IMF grant element of 37.33% and 36.78% respectively, exceeding the IMF threshold of 35%. This implies that the ISDB loans are relatively inexpensive and will not have a large impact on the debt stock. However, the government of the Gambia will cover 25% of the total cost for the implementation of component A, B, and F of the project. This will be equivalent to $340,000 US. Honorable Speaker, the soil fertility mapping project went through a series of consultations, stakeholder consultation, both at the regional and national level. The consultations included stakeholders from the Ministry of Agriculture, acting as the executing agency, the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs as the authorized representative, the International Council for Research in Agroforestry as the regional project coordinator, and the National Agricultural Research Institution, NARI. Honorable Speaker, the National Assembly is hereby invited to humbly ratify and approve the above loan agreement for the financing and effectiveness of the soil fertility mapping project for the Gambia. In light of the above, I respectfully submit to this Honorable House the above mentioned agreement for consideration and ratification. Honorable Speaker, I beg to move. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, any seconder? Honorable member for Opanyumi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also second the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, I now put the question. It has been moved and seconded that this Honorable Assembly do consider the financial agreement between the government of the Gambia and the Islamic Development Bank on the regional soil fertility mapping project amounting to $1 million US. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Honorable members, anybody who wants to take the floor may now do so. Beginning with, no one wants to contribute? Honorable member for Bikama North and Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I believe this motion, the members of Agricultural Committee will take the lead in ensuring that we have the motion considered. The loss of soil nutrition in agricultural sector is a great cause of concern, and try to map the soil fertility in order to enhance the nutrition of the soil, to promote or increase the productive sector in agriculture cannot come at a better time than now, as we are currently facing scarcity of availability of fertilizer to the farmers, especially in the rural community in the recent years. Honorable Minister, therefore, for the ministry to come together with the regional, sub-regional bodies, I believe is a move, that's a welcome move. And we hope so when the loan is approved, it is going to be judiciously implemented. We are raising eyebrow just similarly as we did to the previous grant and loan pertaining to the issue of implementation. The role of the stakeholders, as well as the role of the National Assembly. Both sides, we should guide our role and ensure the effective implementation of the projects. Having said so, as I raise my concern on the issue of fertilizer availability to rural farmers, equally, I welcome this gesture for this mapping on the soil fertility to enhance the soil nutrient and above all, the productive sector in agriculture, especially the crop production. On that note, I add my voice to welcome and then to support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. Honorable members, I was a little bit concerned that we had reached a stage where we had less than a quarter of the members in the chambers, until we had to go and call some people outside. In that circumstance, I want to recognize and thank the following members who made it possible for us not. I was going to call off the meeting, but because of you people, I will call your names. The Honorable Member for Brikama North, Honorable Member for Combo South, Honorable Member for Same, Honorable Member for Brikama South, Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring, nominated Member Keba Lamfofana, Nyamina Dankunku, Jeswang, Busumbala, Basse, Opanyomi, Nyamina West, Ilyasa, and Gara West. I want to put it on record that you prevented assembly from being winded. I was going to call it off until we are able to get the necessary quorum for us to proceed. So I had appealed to honorable members that we must look around before we go out. Allow others to come back before you go out. Otherwise, we will be forced to close business because we must go by our own standing orders. We have those records. We will keep the records. I now invite the honorable member for Nyamina Dankunku.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Let me also thank the Minister of Energy for ably representing the Minister of Finance for tabling another important.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker.
Observation.
You are giving a wrong list. No.
It's exactly because my name was not also called, Honorable Speaker.
Observation, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I now give the floor to the minority leader.
But you are giving a wrong list.
Honorable member, please read your standing orders. You don't challenge some of these things. It becomes irresponsible. Please. Okay, minority.
Yeah, Honorable Speaker, thank you for that observation. Equally, I just want to observe that Honorable Member for Chiangways and Honorable Member for Latikunda Sabiji were in the chambers, and maybe you have not noticed they are present.
It's the staff that had table office wrote the names. At the time, I instructed them to write the names, and I asked the table office people to go outside and get other honorable members to come in. At the time, these were the only people. Honorable members, yeah, since our write-up, I think we have only one added, but we can continue. I think we have met the requirement. I now call on the honorable member for Nyamina Dankunku.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Speaker, let me thank the Minister of Energy for ably representing the Minister of Finance for tabling another important motion. being that the motion he just laid deal with agriculture. We all understand how important agriculture is to our beloved country. Honorable Speaker, what we are giving in front of us is a loan agreement of $1 million, $1 million to support some component in the agricultural sector. Honorable Speaker, for me, when I looked at this amount, I calculate or I think whether the Ministry of Agriculture is serious when it comes to developing agriculture in this country. Because a word of $1 million, that is $60 million. $60 million. A nation agriculture. If we have to go outside just to look for $60 million to fund or develop our agriculture sector, that means that there is a problem at the Ministry of Agriculture. Because for me, I believe $60 million can be incorporated in our budget. I could vividly remember, was it in 2018? We give 100 million to the Ministry of Agriculture, and it was added on the floor of the House here. And that is about $2 million by then. Because then I know however, the rate might be, it was around 50 per US dollar. So if the Assembly can give the Ministry of Agriculture $100 million, that was equivalent in 2018, $2 million. I wonder why the Ministry of Agriculture is looking for a loan for only $1 million, or for a sovereign nation like the Gambia. I just imagine if I should go to the bank, I tell them I need a loan of $10. How would the bank rate me? I think the Ministry of Agriculture, honorable members, is one of the ministries that acquire a lot of loan, a lot of grant when it comes to agriculture. But whether it is reflecting to the people, that's a big question. I think the Ministry of Agriculture should take that ministry very serious. Because without agriculture, this country is doomed. When it comes to employment, when it comes to everything. So going for for a loan of $1 million, for me, I believe it's almost a mockery to the Assembly. If we can give you $2 million and you bring a loan of $1 million for us to approve, for me, I believe it's mockery. And then even recently, the chair was advocating for an additional $40 million in the just concluded budget. And then I think it was given up. Then why are we going just for the sake of taking loan? If you know that you can get it, why do you go and get loan just to add another extra burden on our debt burden in this country? So for me, I just looked at it for the sake of maybe it is you don't pay an interest on all what you pay is service fee. And then, Honorable Speaker, we have to look at the loan because it is fully detailed. It is fully detailed. If you go to page 13 of 26, Honorable Speaker, look at the expenditures on that sheet. It reads support to project coordination and management. Direct $90,000. Vehicle for PIU, special account, $84,000, 200. If you convert it today with 60, it's $5,032,000 for one vehicle. That's for one vehicle. And you go to desert operation for PIU. No, fuel and lubricants, special account, $20,000. Operation PIU, special account, $30,000. Minister of Agri, oversight and monitoring. Then under it, 7,200, national launching, 4,000. Almost 232,200 is just paid only on allowances and other things. That means the 25%, because we are informed government is spending 25% of it. That means that 25% what government is spending, all is spent on allowances. And we know how critical the issue of agriculture in this country. I think we need to look at this loan critically before we make a decision. Then, okay, you look at the, sure, just a minute. Sorry, Honorable Speaker, let me just try to find out these pages. Okay. If you look at page 17, the second paragraph, it reads, ISDB will conduct a startup workshop to familiarize the PIU staff and EA with a bank procurement, financial management, and disbursement guideline, and agree on the implementation schedule and henceforth, and hence smooth implementation. This institution have been working with the Ministry of Agriculture several times. We have been approving loans with regard of the Ministry of Agriculture. They are very often on how these banks implement. But you see, they have to see, okay, they will be doing workshops, so on and so forth. Okay, you go to the consultancy service, that is on page 10 of 26. Consultancy, the procurement of consultancy shall be undertaken through a single source. Here now the single source, I mark single source. Why single source? I think I need an explanation on why single sourcing. Then on the last paragraph too, on this, the paragraph after that one, it said recruitment and audit firm, component E, will be done through least cost selection, method based on local sub-listing, something like that. I need another an explanation on this one too. Then, Honorable Speaker, I will go back at the front of the page. That is page 2 of 26, where it reads general condition, that article 1. He said, general condition, this agreement is subjected to the 2020 edition of the ISBD general condition applicable to loan financing, general condition, in bracket, open and close. The general condition constitutes as an integral part of this agreement. So I think, Honorable Minister, you need to furnish us what are these general conditions, because it is emphasized almost in all the clauses that this general condition must be met. And then we are not furnished with that general condition. Honorable Speaker, I think, as I mentioned earlier on, the Ministry of Agriculture should take agriculture very serious. For me, bringing us this $1 million to approve for the Ministry of Agriculture, while you can get it from your own coffer, is a mockery. And then if you looked at some of the component of the inside, some of the details in the contract, it seems that they are just designing the contract for themselves. So at the end of the day, we will approve it and give it to them as usual. We have seen at the Ministry of Agriculture, we have so many justifications that when it comes to project implementation, they are the weakest ministry. As we are speaking, NEMA have phased out, leaving 17 gardens that were supposed to be completed in their project. But until now, those 17 gardens are lingering there. They are dilapidating. The contract has phased out. And if we looked at this contract, they say the duration for implementation is 3 years. And agriculture have a lot of contract, a lot of projects that they are implementing. My worry is whether, if they are giving this token amount, because this is too small, whether they will do it as expected. Because they are fond of failing agriculture. They are fond of failing. I can even remember the then president said the amount of he invested in agriculture did not reflect in agriculture. And then the same thing also, the same thing in this how to go in this present government. There is a lot of funds given to agriculture, but agriculture never produce anything. Once you give them the money, look at it. If you look at this contract, the first priority is people. $5 million in people, and the contract duration is only 3 years. I think we need to prioritize issues when it comes to agriculture. Left to me alone, we could have actually looked at this loan properly, and then we form a decision. If not, it's going to be a failure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Nyamina Dankunku. I think you are pushing the ball all the way into our court. You know, when we talk about failures in ministries, we are talking about our own failures. Because we are charged to find out and then take them to task. So let the committees, relevant committees, please ensure that these failures come to an end. Or if they find out and report to the plenary. That's critical. I now invite the Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. In fact, all what I wanted to say is like Honorable Member for Nyamina West has already stepped into. Dankung is all the same. Okay, for me, I will advise the members to refer this agreement or this to Agri Committee so that we sit over it and do the needful. We don't need to rush this. We are not working under pressure, so therefore let's not just rush this because there are a lot of problems I spotted in this agreement. Now, where you mentioned page 18 of 26, the consultancy services, the procurement of consultancy shall be undertaken through single source selection. I agree. But where you mentioned ICRAF will be engaged as a delegated implementation agency, I don't know whether this is a government body. I'm not aware of whether maybe I don't understand the acronym, but I'm not aware of any government institution called the ICRF. To further reinforce my confusion, where you went further to say NARI and SWME will be contracted through single sourcing with submission of full technical.
Honorable member, which page are you?
18 of 26.
18 of 20.
Yes, the second paragraph. Consultancy services. So we need to be very clear. I think the committee, if for us to do our oversight effectively on this project, we need to be very, very clear with all of this. We also go to page 20 of 26, where you mention the PIU, support experts on the component E, shall be selected from the staff of the CPCU following single source selection method in accordance with IDB guidelines for procurement of consultancy service. What I am seeing, if the National Assembly is not mindful, we are not minded, we are going to enable fraud. We are going to enable fraud as far as this particular project is concerned. So I'll advise the National Assembly for us to commit this agreement to the Select Committee and give us few weeks to go over this thoroughly so that we can advise the plenary very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabeji. I now invite the Honorable Member for Busumbala.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable Minister of Energy, for holding brief for Honorable Minister of Finance. Honorable Speaker, looking at the motion before this Honorable House here, it definitely surprised me to read that $1 million is been before us as National Assembly members to consider for a loan in this soil mapping. The intended purpose is very important and is very crucial, as it will definitely increase or show us our nutrition content of the soil, also guide us in terms of increasing our productivity, which crop is suited for which area. But the amount of money that the ministry or the motion contains, it is definitely a sign, it is definitely showing that we are not ready for the prime time. That, you know, the ministry is definitely not taking their ministry so seriously. We can generate our local income to cater for this project while taking a loan. And let us be mindful, we are just taking these loans and these loans. And these loans are accumulating. We are taking it presently because we are in power. But let us know that we will one day leave this house and our generation will come and pay these loans. Let us not indebt them. Let us try and generate income within to cater some of these things. You don't need to take loan to do the soil mapping. Besides, we have a lot of professors We have a lot of doctorates within this sector, within the agri sector, who can undertake this, and we generate our local income and finance them. But to me, I am definitely not in support of this loan, for it to be taken for the purpose of what it has been intended within on the motion. I rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Busumbala. Honorable Member for Kiang West.
I think most of the work is being done by the Honorable Member for Nyamina Dankung. And he has said it well, that we could have asked Mohamed Jah to give us $1 million. Or maybe the manager, the CEO of Yona Forex Bureau or any of the national personal institutions to give us $1 million, and we go in for this project, and it will be and it can do something for us than increasing our debt burden. But aside that, I want to look at the capacity building component of it. On the capacity building, I think when it comes to capacity, to check the soil facility, and as far as need assessment is concerned, I think NARI should be well equipped, because what it is trying to tell us here, they are not sending anybody for PhD program. It is telling us here, they will send there will be enrollment for exceptional national collaborators into 2 years master's program, relevant to the longer term and national capacity in soil testing. If NARI is not still well equipped to do this service for us, to carry out necessity as far as soil testing is concerned, until we are sending people to go for master's program, not into PhD programs, but master's program. That's what we are sending people to go for soil testing. This is really revealing to tell us that NARI is not well equipped. NARI is not well equipped. My senior honorable has talked about the NEMA project. NEMA project is definitely a handsome of money, which has gone into agriculture. You talk about FASDEP. FASDEP has also come in, which is also another agricultural project. But after the project phase out, fondly without number, we have said here, when the project is coming, the entire or the 1/4 of the money is spent on vehicles, brand new DT motorcycles, which worth a huge amount of money, fuel and lubricants, and other incentives. So I think this $1 million loan is not necessary for now. We are just from a budget season. You know, when we look at the budgets and each of the various committees makes various savings, and from Committee of All House, we made a saving of more than 200 million. If I'm right, of more than 200 million, we made a saving. If this was definitely a necessity at that point in time, 60 million would have from that savings to go into this project. So why are we going back immediately, few months after budget session? We are taking in 60 million Gambian dollars. For what? We are increasing debt burden for ourselves. When it comes to project management, component E, which says supposed to project management and coordination, this component will focus on overall program management related issues, including the day-to-day operation and project implementation. Wait, do we need to spend fund on this? Do we need to spend fund? I think we already have expertise who are there readily made for the projects to come, and they take the job as their daily operations in office. Not as a separate project comes in, you need a special incentive for that. The way issues are designed in Gambia sometimes is terrible. People will be in office, designed for certain works, but projects will come, they will require special incentives and allowances for them to implement that project. I think when you are in the office, a special project comes in for that department, there shouldn't be any other incentive for that. You are there already meant for that. Once the country is designed in this dimension, otherwise we will import and increase our debt burdens and we will never realize them. So this is my case, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Kiang West, Honorable Member for Shani Mentereng.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. And I'll equally thank the Honorable Minister for laying this loan as well. But then I think this is directly an opposite way. The one that he laid personally for his ministry, I think that's an excellent one, and definitely that one is even overdue. But this one, I think the honorable member for Nyamen has cleared everything. I, Honorable Fatou Cham, will not be part of those who will rectify this loan. I don't think this is necessary, because I remember when we went down the committee of the Bureau of Committees, at least to build consensus of how to distribute the money that was deducted from the budget lines. I vividly remember how the chair of the Agri Committee was trying to give a huge amount to the Minister of Agriculture, and there we did. So I don't think this is necessary, and I think we should not be wasting our time on this loan to be ratified. I think we should conclude here right now. Thank you very much, and refer it to the committee. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Shani Mentereng. Honorable members, let's remind ourselves that this loan component is for a specific purpose. Soil fertility mapping project for the Gambia under the Regional Soil Fertility Program for West Africa. It's a project.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
Who am I putting to point of order?
Yourself. It seems you are descending into the debate.
You see, please sit down. You see, honorable member for Latrikunda Sabeji, I, as Speaker, must regulate and ensure that things are clear and done rightly. You must bear that in mind. It's not to see you do something that is not clear that let me just keep quiet. Please. And how can you point of order? How can you put a point of order for me? Honorable Member, what I want you to understand is it's a specific project. If it is not understood, understand it that way. Please. The next one is I will now call on the Honorable Member for Upper Nyomi. He's out. Am I right? Honorable Member for Lower Salum.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Thank you, Honorable Member who spoke before me. And Honorable Speaker, the 5th legislature, I was part of Agri Committee. And this also, I'm also a member of Agri Committee. Honorable Speaker, what the member for Dankungu have said, and the chairman of the agriculture, that is Upper Nyomi, can bear witness. The 100 million that we give the Ministry of Agriculture in 2019, the answer, whenever we go around to regional offices, the answer is we don't know. And what the member calculate is over $2 million in that time. And Honorable Speaker, let's be very frank on this issue. This loan, we have to pay it. What he said, most of the monies will go on their allowances and their other things. We have 9 projects in agriculture recently now, but none of them or none of these managers or directors can stood here and said, we have successful do our project right. Just recently, the root projects, that's $80 million project with loans, failed. And I said it here, Honorable Speaker, agriculture today, this Russia and Ukraine war that, how to call it, the technocrats always try to tell us here, we have to invest on agriculture, seriously. But we have doctors there, PhD holders there. But go and see, all of them today, they build, how to call it, story buildings. This loan, if we agree on this loan, meaning that we are going to help them to reach themselves. Because now they said Nari is already, soon we will have Nari clubs. Because even to pay their single servant, they cannot do it. You can bear me witness, the chairman. Why this loan? If they are serious and they know they will bring this into parliament during budget session. We have interface with them. Why this loan? Which in 2019 we give them 100 million, and that 100 million was not duly it was not implemented rightly. Why this the same loans again? I know they decide good in design projects. They just know how to eat these monies. They are very good in design project. What? I make my fund just last assistant, but none of these agricultural extension workers come to my farm, and I have bumper harvest. I have over 134 donkeys. None of them come to my farm and to know what I am doing there. Go to maize. I have 100 bags of maize, and I pack it for 70 kilos for each bag. Honorable Speaker, they are all jokers. Sorry to say this. Sorry to say it.
Honorable member, please, as we say, we are dealing with people.
No, sorry to say it, Honorable.
Please.
Sorry to say it.
Please.
But the reason why I say so, Honorable Speaker, they just design project us where they're going to tap. And in fact, the most funny is if we rectify this, you will see most of them leave their job and go for this and buy for this one, just to get the allowances. Yes, second man, Honorable Speaker. If we are ready to invest on agriculture, we will go to sponsor agriculture or our own monies. How many roads that we are building here? They are all local funds. It's more of this loan, Honorable Speaker. We are not ready to build this nation. If we are ready to build this nation, this 1 million will not be a problem. As it honorable member for Dankung said, I'm not going to. If I told you I'm going to vote, I'm not going to vote for this one. Even they take my name to I don't mind. You understand? No, but we have to say the truth. That's the truth. Honorable. And again, you allow us, Honorable Speaker, to speak on our mind, to scrutinize these documents. We know that you are a presiding officer. But sometimes you also stop us if you want to speak the truth. You allow us to speak the truth. What is in our us? Then from there you can take over.
Honorable member, that's a misstatement.
No.
Honorable member, sit down.
Thank you.
Sit down. That's a misstatement. I have never prevented you from scrutinizing. I'm just putting clarity. Not preventing you from scrutinizing. That's a misstatement. You said all what you want to say. You repeated one thing a million times. I left you. I could have just asked you. You cannot be repeating, but I let you go. So appreciate that.
Thank you, Honorable. But I'm not saying that you are supposed not to tell you truth. But the issue here is, that being the case, then I have withdrawn that statement. But then the issue here is, we have to scrutinize this, how to call it, these documents, and because they are, we cannot implement this. We can only do to rectify and adopt. You understand? But they are the implementing agency is them. So if they fail, not means that we fail. Our duty, we have done our duty rightly. So now the cake is with them. They are there to supply the cake, to cut the cake. But if they're not doing so, we have to say it. And for that being the case, thank you very much for giving me the floor. I'm sorry for that, if it hurts you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Lower Salu. It's not a matter of hurting. I want all honorable members to express themselves the best they can on all issues before you. But please, I am a guide. Please, once again, don't make unnecessary point of orders. Please. As the member for Latrikunda Sabi. The honorable member for Jesuang, is he around? Jesuang, yes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also thank the Honorable Minister for representing the Minister of Finance again. Honorable Minister of Finance, Agriculture, sorry. For finance or agriculture, it's finance. I'm looking at the loan components, about 1 million as a loan that we are trying to rectify here at the Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I join my other colleagues to look at it properly here to say the amount might be small, but I have a question that I need to put to the Minister possibly. The amount that the government is to contribute about $340,000. And if you come to the other expenditures with regards to office vehicles, name them, it's about $232,000. If government, and we have all this expertise within the agri sector, this amount that have been listed there, can we use them as our contribution towards the project than giving out money and also paying it out to our own people? Can that be to say we are contributing this because we have the manpower? We have, because if you come to agriculture, we have been having vehicles for projects. We have been having a lot of training for personnel. Do we need any more training for those personnel again? Can we use that amount to say this amount of 3 something, instead of giving it out to you, we'll be using it as a contribution towards our own staffs? Honorable Speaker, I think the Minister of Agriculture needs to be looked at properly. Yes, it's a loan. The concern is about, from me, is the soil fertility mapping project for the Gambia under the regional soil fertility program for West Africa. Is the Islamic Development Bank funding all the West African countries within this project? That's my question. If they are, is that the condition why they say we have to go for the loan? Because loans are attached based on certain things. Are they the one financing all these West African countries? If they are, I have no objection on we going for the loan. But if not, I think we can sit and look at it properly and see how best we can finance for ourselves than taking in a loan. Yes, there is no interest, as you are saying, but there are charges attached to it. That's the interest. Those charges are to be paid by who? Our own taxpayers' money. So if at all the Islamic Development Bank is not financing the whole West African team or the West African region, I think the best thing is, if at all government can do it on its own, let government go and look for money to do it, and then instead of going for a loan. For me, the issue of interest, I will repeat again, yes, there is no interest, but there are charges attached to it. So those charges replace the interest. So I think we need to look at this thing properly, and also, yes, as the speaker has alluded here, we are here as to do an oversight function on them. Yes, the chairman is around, I think with his team. People always talk about agriculture. Money is being pumped into agriculture. I think it is high time now we do the needful and start to do the follow-ups, because we are seeing many projects are coming field, and we don't know how they are how it is happening and why it is happening. Even grants are being returned back to the various countries that they come from, and they are all coming to the Ministry of Agriculture. So let's try to monitor properly and do what is right. Let's try to be on to them. The way grants are given and they are monitored, let's also do the same monitoring here to make sure that things are done in the right way. Not only the 10% of it, which is the administrative cost of it, we work on the half what we want and we go. After the administrative cost, we need to feel it as Gambians. Our people need to feel what is happening. Yes, the loan is not that much big, it's very small, but I think if at all there is a way out, if the Islamic Development Bank is not meant for the whole West African region, I think the country should do it on its own. Thank you. That's my case.
Thank you, Honorable Member for Joshua. Honorable Member for Opanyumi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving the opportunity. Honorable Speaker, the motion we have before us is the soil fertility mapping for the Gambia under the Regional Soil Fertility Program for West Africa. So it means that it's not only about Gambia, it's for the whole of West Africa. When you look at the objective of the project, you will see that the objective is the overall goal of the proposed project is to develop balanced fertilizer and integrated soil fertility management recommendation targeted to specific crops under specific soil and agroclimate conditions that will sustainably increase yields and nutritional quality and result in increased return on fertilizer investment. So when you look at the overall objective of the project, it's really ideal. It's important of nature to do the soil fertility mapping, because the way our farmers are using fertilizer in this country, when you look at it critically, and the long run is going to give us problem. But like I agree with the members that this project needs to be looked into properly, and I believe, like when you look at the other specific objectives, it's saying that map soil in major agricultural targeted areas. That's 1, 2, develop fertilizer and soil fertility management recommendation for farmers, which is really key. The fertilizer industry and other stakeholders. 4, strengthen the capacity of natural agricultural institutions. When you look at NARI, what is in NARI today? Not absolutely. If the whole of this project is given to NARI, meaning that it's going to strengthen NARI. And it's going to strengthen NARI soil laboratory. When you go to the laboratory, even to have proper equipment for soil testing, it's not there. So that's why this idea of having, this CPCU, PU, I don't even understand. Why do you have to give it to a project coordinating unit for what? Why do you have to give it a project implementing unit? Why do you have to create it for what? Give it to NARI to use their existing structures within the institution to implement the project. You don't have to. So, honorable members, I think there is a need for us to revisit this, this loan agreement and advise the ministry accordingly. That's the intent of the proposal. But like the program itself is really important. Gambia cannot do without carrying out this particular program for us to increase our agricultural production and productivity. I have been saying it here. Very soon we may go into food crisis. Ukraine war taught us a lesson. COVID-19 taught us a lesson. The only way out is agriculture. Honorable members, we have to take it seriously. Honorable Speaker, that's what I have to say. But otherwise, I cannot agree much with the honorable members. The thing they try to pinpoint out from these particular documents. And I definitely, concord that there's a need to look into this document properly and to advise the ministry accordingly. Thank you so much.
Thank you, honorable member for Upper Nyomi, and I think you are the agricultural chairman. It looks like all what has been said points to one direction, including the chairman of the agricultural committee. Can the agricultural committee therefore then move a motion that the motion be committed to the agricultural committee?
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much.
Yeah. Leave it to.
Let me just talk to you. Speaker, thank you very much. Honorable members, I move a motion that for this particular agreement to be referred to the Select Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development and advise the plenary accordingly.
Any seconder?
53K.
Huh?
Honorable 53K,
Honorable
yes.
member for Same, seconded, huh?
Yes.
Seconded.
Yes, thank you very much. Second the motion.
Okay. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that this motion, Islamic Development Bank between loan agreement between the Republic of the Gambia and the Islamic Development Bank concerning soil fertility mapping project for the Gambia under the Regional Soil Fertility Program for West Africa be committed to the Select Committee on Agriculture. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. So the motion is now committed to the Select Committee on Agriculture. Honorable members, we must at least within this session.
Honorable Speaker, this has to be done within the session and lay the report to the plenary.
But
we have to do it within the session and get back to the plenary.
you make sure that before the close of this session, you
Yes.
report back to plenary. Huh?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So can we have the leave of the assembly for the committee to be meeting during the session? Thank you.
Honorable Chair, if for instance you need to meet and it coincides with this thing, just let us know. We grant you permission to meet. What?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, I think that's the last agenda item. But somebody is talking. Lower Salum, what are you saying?
The member for Pasay is talking.
No, I heard your voice, Lower Salum.
Yeah, I responded to him.
You don't talk.
Yeah, so you were talking.
Yeah, I was talking.
Honorable members, we have come to the end of the program, the agenda. Let me once again thank the Honorable Minister who stepped in for the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs. The motion is committed to the Select Committee on Agriculture. And let me thank honorable members for your contributions throughout the tabled motions here. I now put the question, honorable members, that be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned till Tuesday, 7th March 2023. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. The Assembly now stand adjourned until Tuesday, 7th March 2023 at 10 a.m. prompt. Thank you.